About 8 years ago, some friends and I were jumping off cliffs at a lake near where I grew up. I had never given my car keys to anyone, but I gave my friend these keys as he wasn't jumping in and wouldn't lose them. To get to the point, I forgot to get them back, and everyone else left before I remembered that I no longer had them. The area I was at was kinda remote, so I had no cell phone reception. So I decided to start walking down the road until I had reception. About a half mile down the road, a car pulls over with two guys. They ask me what I'm up to, which isn't exactly weird to ask, as I'm just walking down a somewhat rural road without a sidewalk. I tell them what's up, and they offer to let me use their phone that does have reception. Oh, this is pretty believable now. I call my friend, who luckily picks up, and let him know that he still has my key. I hand the phone back. The two guys then ask me if I want to ride back to my car. Obviously, the thing to do is to say, no thanks, I have time to kill, so I might as well walk back. But I'm a dude, so I say, yeah, that'd be great. So I get in the back, and the two guys start to tell me that they are from New York City and staying at a nearby camp. That camp happens to be a nudist colony. Anyway, I tell them that I'm visiting family as I'm back from college, which is a somewhat well-known liberal arts school that has a reputation for having a higher than average gay student population, even compared to the other Northeast liberal art colleges. At this point, the two guys ask if the friend who has my keys happens to be my boyfriend. I say, no. They start asking about what I was up to earlier. I tell them about jumping into the lake. They say that sounds fun. Why don't you take us back into the woods to show us? And I'm like, well, I've already gotten changed. They're like, no problem. You can just get changed again. At this point, we're pulling into the parking area where my car is. I tell them that I think it would be best to wait for my friend. I get out of the car. They get out of the car. They continue to try to talk me into walking into the woods with them. I say thanks for the ride, get into my car, and they hang around for a few minutes, then leave. It starts getting dark. 10 minutes later, they drive by again. It turns out that my friend went to pick up another friend about 20 minutes away from where I was, so I sat there for a long time in the dark for a while, hoping that they wouldn't come back. It freaked me the fuck out. Don't get into strangers' cars, even if you're a 20-year-old dude. My brother is not only a military man, but he's your basic hetero, never let him see you cry type of military man. He's not afraid of anything, well, except for the entire country of Japan. And here's his story. My brother joined the Marines when he was 18 and was stationed in Japan. He really enjoyed this time for a while. The girls specifically. He made friends with some of the Japanese guys his age who worked around the base. On nights where him and his soldier friends had the night off, the local Japanese guys would show them around, bring them to bars, introduce them to the girls, etc. One night, after a little drinking and no luck with the girls, the guy invited my brother home to play video games. That's what I'm talking about. My brother accepted the invite because he had shit else to do, and they played video games for a few hours. During the time, he tells my brother the main reason he wanted to get home early was because his little sister had been suffering from night terrors. Little sister, huh? Let me stop. Causing her to wake up screaming, crying, and sometimes vomiting. He was worried about her and wanted to come home in case she had an episode. At this point in the story, I should explain how this guy's house was shaped. The house was built in the shape of a horseshoe with a garden in the middle. His bedroom was at the very edge of the side of the U shape, and his sister's all the way at the other end. So they are essentially across the garden from each other. If he looks out his window, he can see into hers and vice versa. So anyways, they decide to call it a night, and the Japanese guy walks over to the window to look across the garden into her sister's window to check on her. He lifts the blinds and peers out for a fraction of a second before jumping back, screaming, and looking at my brother like he just saw something horrible. My brother then goes to look, and he stops him. He tells him that he saw a dark cloud with red eyes hovering over his sister's sleeping body. My brother naturally does not believe him and decides to look for himself. He creeps quietly over to the window and lifts the blinds, but this time he finds himself eye to eye with what he describes as a dark black puff of smoke with a face. My brother and this other guy admit that they got under the covers and stayed there until it was light outside, too afraid to lift the blanket and see if this smoky figure had come any closer and was in the room with them, just on the other side of the thin sheets. I don't know what to believe, or if maybe they drank more than what they said. But I know my brother believes what he saw, and he looks like he saw something truly sinister. This happened several years ago to my brother. I don't know if it's creepy or just horrific. My brother had 2 roommates, one female with a 2-year-old son, and one other male roommate. My brother worked late nights. I believed he was a cook at the time. He came home late one night after work, and everyone was in bed, out for the night. There was a guy that didn't live there in the kitchen. He had no shirt on and was using the sink. Looked like he was washing up. It was the girl's estranged boyfriend. He was also the father of the 2-year-old. Nothing seemed odd to my brother since the guy was in and out of his roommate's life all the time. Plus it was an extra hot summer night, so the no shirt wasn't a red flag either. He said hi to my brother, told him he was just washing up and was going to hit the road. He finished up and left. The other roommate got up after he left and came out. I think he heard them talking or something. I don't remember how it went. They got to talking about how it was odd that the guy was in the kitchen like that. They decided to go ask their female roommate if everything was okay with the ex. When they knocked on the door, she didn't answer. So, they slowly opened the door to check on her. It was a bloodbath in her room. The boyfriend had beaten her and the little boy with a board. She was obviously dead. My brother tried to revive the little guy, and sadly, he didn't make it. They caught the guy in a day or two. I think he pled guilty and is now serving life in prison.